What's up? I had to skip a stream, but I survived daylight savings by sleeping well, which is more than I can say for myself on most given days. Anyway, hello. It's stream time. So, alright, time for us to play Slay the Princess. Dang, I can't believe it's been an entire year since the demo came out and I played that on stream, and at no point in the past 2 weeks since the game was released have I attempted to stream this. Definitely not What Are You Talking About. The only time I've opened this game is for testing it on stream, for other purposes, not the fact that the first attempt at this didn't go well. Anyway, though, yes, hello, Slay the Princess. It's been out 2 weeks and it's been killing me. So anyway, yeah, I had a whole preamble for it last time, but, like, I don't know if I want to do that again. Not that I attempted this a first time or anything, but, you know. The same people who made Scarlet Hollow, so that's why I've been very excited. But also, this one's gotten a lot of traction in the 2 weeks since it's been released, so I'm guessing it's probably pretty good. I did expect it to be good, of course, but, you know, it's also got a pretty sizable following. And so now everybody probably knows what happens past, like, Chapter 2, except me, so I'm gonna fix that now. So let's just go to Slay the Princess, and now I don't have to worry about, like, launching games, for the most part. Unless I do. Oh, because it's trying to download stuff, that's why. Alright, well, as I was saying, I don't have to worry about the computer and OBS dying while I do this. So, you know, I can just open up a Steam game while OBS is running. There we go. Let's see. Oh, and let's see. Slay video. It should be. There we go. Alright, so you missed the logo and the thing saying that content warnings are on the website. Well, I've got the website pulled up, so... Okay, we've got a big list of content warnings. If you know that there's, like, nothing that's really going to phase you, you can just skip this, because this will probably be a little bit of a spoiler, just in terms of the concepts we'll be seeing over the course of the game. Otherwise, you might want to pay attention to this, because it's... the general CW list is very long. Alright, whew. Well, it starts with the one Twitch doesn't like, mild nudity, but then it goes on to realistic depictions of mutilation, disembowelment, realistic depictions of knife wounds, loss of self, cosmic horror, existential horror, being eaten alive, disembowelment, suffocation, realistic depiction of acid burns, realistic gore, jump scares, derealization, forced suicide, loss of bodily autonomy, starvation, unreality, body horror, forced self-mutilation, forced suicide, realistic depictions of graphic violence, self-degloving, realistic flaying, self-immolation, realistic depiction of a bloated corpse, drowning, realistic depiction of burning to death, auditory gore, murder, death, loss of control, verbal abuse, gaslighting, dismemberment, graphic self-decapitation, realistic severed head. Alright, so I assume that Twitch is probably fine with most of that being in a visual novel. If I'm able to stream this without them immediately going, nope, 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 none of that. Self-degloving? No, that is against TOS. Alright, so anyway, one of them jump scares happen on the title screen, but we don't have to worry about this. Alright, and now let's start a new game, which is all I need to do, the only thing I can do, not like I started this 2 weeks ago, definitely not.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Alright, so... let's see. So... I made, in the demo, a joke about, there being full narration, but yes, unlike Scarlet Hollow, there's, full narration, and I just decided to turn around and leave. just decided to be obdurate, but that's not exactly the run I want to do first and foremost here, so I'll be saving that for later. As for other things, if you have not played Scarlet Hollow, it is important to note the Explore options here. The difference between Explore and something like this option is that Explore will not advance the story necessarily, at least in terms of, like, this will get you to, like, a new set of dialogue. Explore might change things, but when you look at this, you will not then be unable to go to this. Though some Explore options do cut off other Explore options. Just, that's important to know. Usually you can probably tell, like, depending on what seems redundant. But, yeah, just a thing to throw out. So I think... starting off... Look, I know the princess I want to start out with, but I do not remember the demo well enough to know if I'm gonna be able to find her specifically. I do want the one who could kick my ass, thus the pre-stream gif, but I think starting out, this is how the game starts. We don't know what the hell's going on, so what sounds the most confused? I feel like first option makes sense. So let's see. So I think tossed into the woods with this narrator talking to us, we're just gonna go, what the fuck? What are you on? Why is it the end of the world?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Well, I mean, the trees will get cut down anyway, so why bother, one might ask. Birds will eventually all fly away and, I guess, explode because of a princess. But like, I don't know, how can a princess locked away in a basement be the end of the world? I don't see how that happens.
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
I mean, that's pretty vague though, my man. Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
I mean, you can't just say that. I need context. Alright, well, I think we're just going down the list for now, at least. Have you ever considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up? I mean, look, some people get a little mad when you do that.
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
Talking's a free action.
Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that.
Well, I mean, if she needs to leave the cabin, just leave her there then. Is she breaking out as we speak?
It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything.
But how is the egg supposed to hatch without a chicken over it?
Unless,
Checkmate, narrator.
Course, you do your job and slay her.
I mean, I guess I did buy a video game called Slay the Princess, so like, I don't know. I mean, look, voice in my head. Feel like killing a princess is kind of a bad thing though, right?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
I mean, fair. However, if it was a seamstress that was going to end the world, would you say the same thing then? I mean, why is it only me, though? Can't someone else do this?
Oh, if only that were the case. But I don't make the rules.
Oh, if only that were the case, because I hate you already. You have asked too many questions. If you're wondering how many questions is too many, you should just take the number of questions you've asked. That's it. That's the number.
I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far. But unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off. Like I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did.
If I made the rules, I would just 360 no-scope the princess, that's all. Well, okay, I don't think we're gonna say forget it, I'm not doing this. I mean, look, I feel like we got some flimsy evidence here from the narrator, but world ending would be bad. We're not gonna be this way about this. We're not the type who wants the world to be destroyed. However, compensation. How about compensation?
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
Okay, but what is compensation, though? We need a contract here. Can you tell me what my prize is going to be for doing a good job?
It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than your wildest imagination.
Alright, so we seem to be on the end of that chain. I don't know, this is still pretty vague. Like, am I salaried? Is this by the hour? Like, narrator won't say anything. Really, I just want money. Look, when people say something's beyond your wildest imagination, it's usually not that exciting. I'm gonna temper my expectations here and say that you're kind of exaggerating. Alright, so we've got options. We can be kind of neutral on this, you know. Gotta check out our options. Let's see. We can just be like, you know what? I've thought it over. Hell yeah, let's murder a princess. We can be kind of sarcastic. Ugh, railroading, thanks. Or we could be quiet. Or we could, again, turn around and leave. I think... Look, I'm gonna be neutral on this. I understand your concerns, the narrator, if that is your real name. But I'm gonna go to the cabin, we'll talk to her, and if she's as bad as you say, maybe I'll slay her. But I'm not committing to anything until I've had the chance to meet her face to face.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out.
You can listen to my words, they're not honeyed at all.
Then each and every one of us is doomed.
See, I am against that
So
conceptually.
sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
We also have the voice of the hero here.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Alright, well, we can't question this. We just proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Alright, so technically, like I said, the explore options won't, like, progress. They won't move you forward like Enter the Basement can, but, again, from the demo, whether or not you take the knife is a very important option. So, alright. I feel like heading into a discussion with a knife in hand is a bad idea. People don't really like it when you have a knife ready, or even kind of unprepared. Somebody's just sitting around with a knife, you gotta eye them like, oh, what the fuck are you doing there, buddy? You don't need that knife. You're not cutting anything. Except maybe human flesh in like 10 seconds. So, alright. She probably won't like it, but I feel like she'll also understand that if she is a world-ending threat, I will need a knife. How much will a knife help? I don't know.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
I mean, look. We have the voice of the hero in our head, but that's not like any specific class. We might be a rogue. We might get backstab damage. We might be able to do a little bit like that. Just a little bit of stabbing. A little stabbing. With my tiny little knife on my tiny little cursor. I do appreciate that your mouse cursor does change.
The door to the basement creaks open,
if it is
revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Poor conditions. I don't know. I feel like that, really kind of helps her point, though. It sucks down here.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Alright, I don't know. I feel like this is a little too jokey, you know? Like, hey, person I've never met before, I think I'm here to kill you. That might still sound threatening. Let's just start with hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Alright, it's bad to start negotiations by being a simp voice of the hero, so I hope that I'm the only one who can hear these voices in my head.
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
I mean, look, I know I've got this knife. It's in my cursor, I can't lie. Alright, so, how are we gonna do this? I feel like I'm between I haven't decided yet, and I'm just here to talk. I mean... should I be open and honest about this? I mean, it's negotiations. I should be polite. And I feel like I'm just here to talk kinda... doesn't really set a good, starting example. You know, I'm just here to talk. Don't mind this. Don't mind this whole situation. It's fine. We're good. Don't you worry about this knife I have here. I'm here to speak. Alright, so let's just be honest. I haven't decided yet.
How about you drop the knife, and the two of us just... talk?
Look, it's gonna be hard for just two of us to talk. You probably can't read minds, it seems. Otherwise, you know about...
Look how reasonable
this
she's
guy.
been. We should just drop the blade and talk things out.
Alright, voice of the hero is all for talking things out.
Don't you dare.
Definitely not. Okay, so I'm gonna say that's 2 for dropping the blade, 1 against, so... I'm kind of this... well, no, actually. I can either decide the vote or tie it.
It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Voice of the hero makes a pretty good argument. What do you have to say, narrator? No, nothing. Ooh, we only have 2 options, though. Oof. I mean, I guess I'm kind of getting pigeonholed here by you guys, but I mean, look, we can pick up the knife later, that's true. And, like, if we tie this whole thing up, then what the hell am I gonna do? We've got 2 options. If it ties, we're just at a complete stalemate, and then nobody is happy, so... Alright, I'll vote for drop it.
The blade
Once again, I'm just
tumbles out of
pointing.
your trembling hands and
See?
drops
No
to the
knife.
floor with an unceremonious clap.
Thank you.
Alright, we're making progress. She appreciates the
Against
gesture.
your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
It's fine. I know how to pick up a knife. I've done it once before. I mean, it was on a table, but I don't think that makes a difference.
We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
Oh, I've got a bad news about my object permanence. It's non-existent. I don't even remember what a knife is.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
I mean, it is a little awkward. A relationship? Are you coming on to me? No, let's not point out that it's awkward. That just makes things more awkward. Don't need to do that. And look, this is just embarrassing ourselves. We've already got voice of the hero being a simp. We don't need 2 of us doing that. Alright, I mean, I feel like these are my 2 options, but, like, I'm gonna go with this one. I think. Oh, actually, no, So, what's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
You don't want Her Majesty, because then I'll just do the WarioWare voice from Body Rock. Just, Your Majesty, just every time, so... Alright, Her Royal Highness.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
Oh, you're named the narrator, don't give me that. How long have you been down here?
Too long.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
But what if I want a gay answer, the narrator? You're trying to head me off, and I don't appreciate that. Also, hello. Let's see. Alright. You could be prodding like that, but I think I'm gonna go with... There's people out there, looks at the narrator, who think you're going to end the world. What do you have to say about that? What's your
Don't
opinion?
just tell her that.
Gotta be open and honest about negotiations, the narrator.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so... dangerous?
Seems to be kind of a... if you leave this place, you explode or something. Kind of like a reverse cabin fever. If you're out of the cabin, things go bad. Alright, we are out of explore options already, other than deflect. What do we want to do here? I don't think we've been told enough, that's not true. I feel like we should probably give the narrator something at some point. You know, we can't shut him down completely. Alright, well, let's go for deflect first. if only because that's a different option tag.
Princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life.
Tragic.
She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaningful. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why.
That's true, they didn't.
That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear.
Look, I'm just the mediator here. I'm a neutral third party. I don't want to hear anything in particular.
But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
I feel like, narrator, you're trying to shut me down a little too much.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust.
You're being rude, the narrator.
So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
I mean, we're making a lot of assumptions here, thinking the narrator has anything to do with that.
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
Wait, hold on a sec. What kingdom do you rule? Hold on a sec. Wait, subjugating, though. You're not very good at that, considering you're just in this cabin, and I've never heard of you. I love that this option comes back. Just, alright, well, we've had this long discussion, but what's that about a relationship? A relationship? Tugs at collar comically. Well, this is only an explore option, so how would I get you out of here, theoretically speaking?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right?
Voice of the hero, did you hear any of those content warnings?
She is. I'm sure of it.
Alright, well... this is still just a weird thing to say out of nowhere, but... talked enough.
Have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
I really don't. I've neutraled my way into the situation, and now I don't have any solutions. Alright, what do we want to do? I feel like... I don't know, this might be the option I want. I feel, I'm trying to remember the demo. Again, like, I'm not gonna try to bind myself too much off the things I remember from the demo. Yeah, whatever I get, I get. But I think this is the more demure one, if I start down this path. Is slaying the princess now the one that gets me beaten to death? Well, I mean, it's the name of the game, so let's go for this one.
Charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle.
Ah, shit, she's got a star punch ready.
She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow.
We shouldn't have hesitated.
But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down.
Princess coming in with a patented stomps. Also, worth noting, if you thought the cursor hand was weird, full-size hand, also weird. Don't know what that's about from the demo, but certainly a thing to make note of.
As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As you gasp for air, she eyes you with an intense curiosity. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you.
I mean, I wouldn't call it fear.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of your lungs. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Alright, well, negotiations broke down, and to be honest, that was kind of my fault. You know, I doubted myself and I went for Slay the Princess, and what do you know? Diplomacy failed, and she beat the shit out of me. I learned nothing from Wonderful 101. Oh no, the tower.
You're
Tarot
on a
card everybody
path
knows is the
in
worst one.
woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I do appreciate... Alright, no. I also appreciate turn around and leave. Now that this is the full game, I am almost kind of curious what happens if you don't start with turn around and leave, but I'm not gonna do that. Alright, I guess how do I want to word this then? Because all of these are the same thing, basically. But, let's go with this one. Hasn't this already happened?
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I.
And yet I already hate you.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to kill us again.
Alright, so also a thing worth noting. Once you progress a chapter, you get a new voice in your head. There were a bunch of different ones in the demo, depending on, you know, what route you were taking. I don't know if more are going to show up on a single playthrough. We'll see how that goes. Is this just gonna be a fucking Disco Elysium situation of how many voices can we cram in here?
She's not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself.
Alright, I mean, this is a fair question. Let's assume I'm telling the truth, and all of this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything? I've decided nihilism is the way to go.
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
I don't know, I feel like everything fell apart when I did decide to take your advice.
Of course we died. We couldn't land a single blow on her, and she broke every bone in our body before she decided to let us die.
Oh, that was everyone, huh?
What were we supposed to do to stop her then? What are we supposed to do to stop her now? It's pointless. She's just a princess. Slaying her shouldn't have been difficult, but congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? Rather than that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences.
God. Just getting absolutely roasted by the narrator.
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. The princess killed us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me.
Also, yeah, this is just a game in which Jonathan Sims talks to himself for a while.
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
Have you played Bravely Default?
If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would?
I mean, she was still in chains. She probably couldn't figure out how to remove that.
If she ended the entire world, why should we even bother? We might as well just walk up to that cabin, break her chains, and let her do whatever she wants. It's all the same in the end.
Jeez, I just keep getting Sims in my head.
Just because she's capable of ending the world doesn't mean you're not capable of slaying her. Both of those things can be true at the same time. So chin up. I believe in you.
I mean, hey, yeah, actually, let's talk about this princess.
Just be quick about it.
Let's see. All she did last time around was beat me to death. How can someone like that end the world? What's she gonna do, punch it a bunch of times? Alright, I feel like this is a fair question. To quote you from last time around, she's just a princess. Why was she strong enough to beat me to death with her bare hands?
She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin, and you'll be fine.
Look, all princesses are capable of beating people to death with their bare hands.
Or we could pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending that we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us.
She didn't.
Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge?
No, that's what I'm here for.
I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included.
Alright, let's talk plan. No, actually, I want to know this. This sounds like it'll take us to, the next step. We'll make a plan, and we'll put it into action. But first, who locked her in that basement?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
I kind of want to ask this question, but I feel like this is the first one I want to go to. If people locked her away, why couldn't they slay her? Why is this falling on me?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are.
Is it because of my weird hand? Is it because of this? Is it because of this? Is that it? Nobody had weird hands when they locked her away. No signs of the hero.
Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here? Who cares if you think we're special? As far as I can tell, the only thing special about us is that we get to experience painfully dying all over again.
Alright. Let's go with this one. You're being cagey. What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult.
I've been killed already. I feel like that's as difficult as it's going to get.
The less you know about her, the better.
She killed me last time. How can I make sure that doesn't happen again?
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world.
I mean, I don't like that plan, though. It seems unfair to her. Now, granted, again, did beat me to death. But that's because I chose to slay the princess. That's all I can say.
Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Then you can just turn around and leave. God, I'm just gonna keep wondering, like, how many of the turn around and leaves are just going to branch into weird directions depending on where they are. Not gonna do it yet. We're gonna go back in.
Before you go any further, she will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Don't help her drinking her wine either.
Lying? Cheating? Why would she even bother? She didn't need to do anything like that last time.
It was kind of just a lukewarm conversation, all things considered, and then we ruined
She
it.
caught us off guard last time. We'll be fine. Let's just keep our wits about us.
Alright, so voice of the hero does seem a little more on slay
At
princess
least one
side of
of you
things.
still has a shred of sense. Just make sure you listen to him, and not that whiner.
Alright,
That's
yeah, let's
what you
proceed
want.
in.
I guess I don't have a say here.
Yeah, you're outvoted, my dude.
The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
That seems dangerous.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Don't let it fall down, it'll chip.
Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small.
I mean, let's start with this one. This whole cabin is different than last time. Elephant in the room.
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
I feel like you're kind of ignoring me in all of this, narrator. You're ignoring my feelings, what I want out of the situation, ignoring my experience. I shouldn't have tried to slay her. This is all on me, really. I've got to be better in the future. However, also, second question, there wasn't a mirror either.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
Narrator doesn't seem to acknowledge the mirror.
There's definitely a mirror.
Okay, it's not just me. We're not crazy.
There isn't. Who cares if there's a mirror? We're all going to die anyway.
Mirror
I'm
neutral,
sure that
got
if
it.
we looked in there, we'd just see something sad and miserable looking back at us. We don't need any reminders of what we are. It would only make things worse. For the last time, you're not going to die unless you let it happen. And luckily for you, there isn't a mirror, so no one needs to worry about confronting a grisly visage any time in the near future. Though, for what it's worth, if there were a mirror, I'm sure that you wouldn't find anything sad or miserable in it looking back at you. You probably look perfectly normal.
Alright, so narrator is not only a mirror denier, doesn't know what we look like either.
Probably. Do you not know what we look like? He knows. He just doesn't have the heart to tell us.
Alright, conflicting opinions here. I want to look at myself. I want to see how handsome I am. Alright, well, I feel like narrator's being, very, not dodgy about the mirror. He's adamant in saying there's not a mirror. I don't know why he would lie about that, so let's just approach it.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
You look absolutely stupid touching a wall. But anyway, definitely don't look particularly normal. At least as far as I'm concerned. Maybe this is just what hands look like in this world, I don't know. Also got some feathers going on down there.
We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
I mean, maybe I should have just insisted I'm handsome. Just get Voice of the Broken to stop talking. Pessimist. Alright, well, let's take the blade.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
It'll be difficult with it.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase, its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
She might be well accommodated this time. Though also maybe somebody's just lighting incense to disguise the mold.
Huh. This is actually kind of nice.
I love the staircase, let's live here.
It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Incense won't fix everything.
Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her.
Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there.
It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
Alright, well, let's keep going.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants.
Alright, so you remember things happened.
You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
You know what? Okay. Gonna tighten her grip.
As if on command, the blade slips
Or
from your
not.
grasp. It clatters uselessly to the floor.
Alright, well, that's actually a point against you this time. Look, I was trying to tighten my grip. Think forcing people to drop their knives? Not super
But
cool.
We didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us? I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade. Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence.
Everybody in the scene just points to Voice of the Broken and shouts, Semp!
Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel. Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Your legs buckle, and your knees hit the floor.
Alright, negotiations are going worse this time around.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations.
Well, good job, the narrator. See? Turns out order of operations was important. Now she does want to end the world.
It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson.
Not really now.
You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she? Then you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it?
You shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. We suck.
He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her?
See, history, skip, auto, save, quick save. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Okay. First things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done.
Alright, voice of the broken, time
The
out.
stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. If you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
I mean, I've been pretty optimistic. Alright. Be whatever you want to be. Alright, I give up immediately. Let's see, So, what happened to you after I died? I'm curious about that.
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird.
There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
Okay, what is your salary or hourly rate? And benefits? Narrator wouldn't tell me. What about you? Alright, nothing. Alright, got two options. Let's see. I mean, I guess we'll just keep doing this then. What's your, what do you have planned?
All you have to do is break these chains and set me free.
Okay, break the chains. Good OP, not great season, so I'm still kind of neutral on this. Alright, good point. If you're so powerful, can't you just break the chains yourself?
Don't be rude. Of course she can.
Duh!
It's not rude to question someone who's apparently trying to end the world.
See, Voice of the Hero's with me. Voice of the Hero's adaptable. You know, I wanted to hear her out before, but now she's doing this, and it's like, maybe we don't listen to her.
That's exactly why it's rude. We should know our place.
I can, easily. But that isn't what I want to do. The story of a terrible and bountiful god unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am, or everything I'm bound to become. It isn't even worthy of what I was. The destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity. The song of you, being so struck by my glory, so overwhelmed by what I am, that you feel you must deliver me into the world.
I mean, that's still you writing the story, though. That's still your idea.
And from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn.
This one's got, I don't know, a little more purple in it? Yeah.
Submit now, submit later. It makes no difference. Because in the end, no matter how vainly you struggle against me, my will triumphs over yours.
Alright, well, let's go with this one then. Alright, look. Just because you're supposed to end the world doesn't mean you actually have to do it. You can be whatever you want to be. Now, I know it definitely seems like you're super jazzed about this whole thing. You've been nothing but enthusiastic, but what if you wanted to be a seamstress?
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart.
Well, now hold on. Hold on. Okay, you're a little less enthused than I thought you would be. You assume that this is what you need to do. And, you know, you say this is about what I am. However, if you heard the song I Am All of Me from Shadow the Hedgehog, you would know it can be a lot of things. Black-hearted, evil, brave-hearted hero. There you go. It took me a sec, but I got it. I got the lyrics. It could be either one of those. You have two options, according to Shadow the Hedgehog. Morality is just two things, right? Or a third thing sometimes, but you can't actually get an ending on a neutral route. You gotta choose by the end. Shadow the Hedgehog makes some fine points about, you know, the place of a neutral party, which I'm now realizing I probably should have paid more attention to that. Alright, well, look. I'm not listening to the simp in my head, okay? I'm not gonna help you end the world. I don't care if something new comes after, I just can't let you do that.
I say,
Okay, we're getting places.
perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters.
Am I going to be killed again?
Pick up that needle.
Alright, as a reminder, there were content warnings at the start of this. Feel like we're getting into, we're going to have one of them now.
Do it. It's what she wants.
Why do we have 2 votes for this?
No objections here.
Oh, come on!
Don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but we might as well pick up the blade.
How is this the thing you've all been unanimous for? Hold on a sec. I feel like I should get a veto
As your
here.
eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses, but that manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer.
Alright, well then, the narrator. I tried to not get her to end the world, but okay, apparently you're also going to have... I'm gonna guess I'm going to be removing a lot of skin from my hand, if not just the entire hand. Well, we've got one option. Maybe if I'm persistent enough. If I click this 1,000 times, I'll be able to choose it as an option, and also bring back Aerith. Alright, well, here we go.
You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand.
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. We were probably going to stand anyway.
I love standing. I'm gonna kneel here forever. I hate you so much, all of you. I hate you and all of your functioning organs.
You can
If you
feel
have
a
any.
creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
To define me is to claim we stand on level ground.
You're not even
We
standing.
do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance.
Oh sure, I bring up Shadow the Hedgehog one time. And now that's all I ever get to be. Look, I thought it was a good suggestion.
Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
Okay, is the throat-slitting one. Gotcha.
What?
Oh, so now you're on my side.
You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward, and end this.
You were all for picking up the knife beforehand. Alright, well, end this. That's ominously vague.
Oh, we'll end this all right.
Oh, I'm going to love dying.
Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End her.
Oh, that's your fault, is it? Alright, let's fucking go for it.
Your body
I'm going.
is sluggish and unresponsive,
I got this.
actively fighting against you, but you do your best to stagger forward. One step at a time, you move towards the princess.
Slitting your throat would have been a mercy, but it seems you're in need of a harsher lesson.
Is this where the degloving comes in?
Plunge that knife into your lungs.
I'm sorry. Don't! As you take another step forward, the blade digs into your ribs, slicing through flesh with ease. It somehow feels like an entirely natural thing to do, while the simple act of walking has become an arduous impossibility.
Oh, I appreciate that the knife has a little blood on it. The cursor work in this game is great.
Then it slides back out, the wound burning as a small hiss of air escapes through the fresh orifice. Blood fills your lungs.
I do appreciate this detail. Blah.
Now, do it again. Keep doing it until I give you permission to stop.
Those are just words. You don't have to listen to her.
Let's see what the options menu says.
It's what she wants. You, heroic one, what are you doing? Don't just let this happen. Stop him from killing you. I'm on it. Your other hand locks around your wrist. struggling
There are
to keep
two wolves
her
inside of me.
Vital organs. The blade still flails towards you, managing to slice bits of skin that fall
Ugh.
to the floor to join the growing pile of blood and gore beneath you. Despite the pain, you manage to keep yourself in one piece, at least for now.
No offense, voice of hero, but could you please work faster?
What a
I'm
pitiful
dying.
display. A wounded little bird thinking it can defy a god. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to hurt so much. You can choose a gentle end. You can choose to leave that punctured vessel for the next.
I'm gonna keep going. Not giving voice of the broken what he wants.
Or you can pathetically struggle against yourself until the floor of this temple is painted with the bloody impressions of your futility.
You continue to approach the princess, even as the repeated gouges of your blade expose bone and muscle to the open air of the basement. You know, this would be a lot easier if you gave us a hand.
I only have two.
My influence only goes so far, and I can only juggle so many things at once. The best I can do right now is to continue to drive you forward. Believe me, this whole ordeal would be so much easier if I didn't have to contend with free will.
You're the one making things difficult. You're the one making us hurt. She doesn't want to hurt us. She's just doing what she has to.
Stop.
As you finish crossing the room, you fall to your knees at the princess's feet, your chest heaving as your blood pools in the crevices of the stone floor, the coppery taste coating your throat. The princess kneels down, lifting your chin with her finger as her face lowers to yours.
Your devotion is misplaced. You've surrendered to delusion. But something about your defiant spirit speaks to me. You are different than you were before.
I am considerably less neutral, but also considerably more bloody, so, you know, I think this is kind of a wash.
Perhaps, if you've learned your lesson, I can spare you from the release of death.
That's a little demeaning, isn't it? Yes, how thoughtful of her. It's a mercy. Take it. I think he's given up whatever say he had at the start of all this.
He doesn't get a vote anymore, fuck this
At least
guy.
one of you is sane. She's within striking distance, and she's only negotiating now because she knows you have what it takes to put an end to her. Seize the moment before it's too late.
I mean, on one hand, she is negotiating, which is what I wanted in the first place. But also, she does like me more now that I'm actually defying her, so...
No!
Go for it.
Though your body trembles, struggling to defend itself in the face of the princess's overwhelming will, you finally manage to break through, darting to her side before she can react. The wind of your freedom rushes through you, and you channel it into a decisive blow, stabbing into the soft flesh of her ankle and severing the tendons in an act of unyielding defiance.
If it's good enough for Achilles, it's good enough for her.
She falls to the
Ooh.
floor, crashing unceremoniously to her knees. But you don't give her any time to recover. Your heart pounding with determination, you plunge your blade into her chest. As you find your target again and again, she laughs, crude emotion breaking through her once stony composure as your blade cuts her flesh.
That good?
We can do this, can't we?
You always could. The decision to give you this task was not made lightly. You're here for a reason.
It's not too late to pick up the pieces. It's not too late to toss that blade aside and beg for forgiveness.
Simp.
I can't believe you would actually strike me. You heathen!
Before you can strike the final blow, the princess lashes out, knocking you off your feet. There's an unsettling wet pop as your spine breaks, numbness and pain spreading through your body. As you rebound towards the ceiling in a moment of disorientated lightness, she drives her fist into your chest.
She's still got that star punch. I can't parry this with my blade. It's too tiny.
Your body is crushed as she pulverizes you into the floor, the ground itself breaking from the impact. You lie there, broken, beyond pain, unable to even see what she's done to you. But the princess is succumbing to her own wounds as well. She looks down upon her body in abject horror and disgust.
You made me use my hands. I can feel myself twisting into something new, something dull, something defiled. What have you done to me?
You're monsters and conspirators. I can't bear to watch this.
The princess has been nothing but cruel to you. You should feel liberated by her fall.
I was into it.
But I don't feel liberated. I feel empty.
Aside from the pain, I feel fine.
Oh, at least one of us is having a good day.
She collapses to the floor. Her glassy eyes watch, unblinking, yet somehow still full of anguish and fear as the two of you perish together.
I suppose we were never gonna get a happy ending here, were we?
Don't let those be your final thoughts. You saved the world. That's worth something. I guess.
Disagreed, but okay.
Regardless of how you feel about it, it's finally over. Thank you. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Yeah, no problem, narrator. Chapter 3, The Fury. Oh.
You're on a path in the woods. And at the end of the path... Okay, what the hell is that?
Okay, you're seeing that too. Good. Now, are you hearing the whiner over there? Continued sobbing.
I think he's upset. And what's he got to be upset about? We just killed a god.
Oh, voice of the stubborn. Okay. Well, I don't feel like I should be bringing you to a negotiation.
Exactly. You heathens destroyed the most beautiful thing that ever was and ever will be.
You're damn right we did. You'll get over it. Can't say I have much sympathy for you. She was bad for us and you almost got us killed. You're being too generous. He did get us killed.
That was kind of his fault, yeah.
Alright, enough chatter. Got a thing I'm supposed to do, and if you don't mind, I'd like to do it without any more interruptions.
We've got 3 voices in our head now. You're going to be interrupted.
Okay, great, you're listening. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is...
If your thing is telling us about the princess, don't waste your breath. We know all about her. It's hardly a path in the woods at this point, is it?
This is just great. Let me cut to the chase. Clearly, you've already been here.
Yeah, you think?
Actually, I don't think we have been here.
Actually, no, I hate to say it, but he's got a point.
This
This is
all
new.
different.
Yeah, the
Is it?
landscape's all fleshy now.
Yes, precisely. And if you'd given me 2 seconds to finish my thought, I would have said that. Oh, you're actually letting me talk now. Great. If you've already been here, it means you've seen things you aren't supposed to have seen, and you know things that you aren't supposed to know. This doesn't look like a path in the woods if reality seems distorted. It's because reality is distorted. So you knew this could happen. You knew we'd be able to restart like this. I know all sorts of things, which is why you should listen to me.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have been like that last time. Shouldn't have been so cagey last time then, huh? Pretending that you didn't know what was going on.
That's not really an answer.
That weakens your position.
Look, if the world around you is changing, especially all the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return. Whatever happens next, that's it. There won't be any more do-overs. So you'd better take things seriously.
Okay, so it sounds like Chapter 3 might be the last one, but also, I can't particularly trust you in what you say.
Don't worry. We only need this one last go at things. You'd better hope that's true, and don't let that inflated ego get in the way of doing your job.
If there's still a princess at the cabin, maybe we can salvage things. Maybe if we just grovel and apologize, things can go back to how they were before.
Oh, cut it out, will you? We need to be tough right now. You're making it so much harder than it has to be, so stop whining.
Alright. I mean, these are both explorers. I'm done with this. Bye! Alright. Let's start with this. Ground rules. It feels like I'm being pulled in 100 different directions. You'd better all listen to me when the time comes to make a choice.
So what if I'm speaking my mind? It's not like I've ever really got to say anything.
You stabbed me repeatedly. You've got plenty of say.
What a crock of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, you stabbed us last time. Repeatedly.
exactly. We're all saying what I'm thinking.
It didn't even work. It doesn't count.
It did. I
We
died.
died. If you didn't submit to her, for all we know, that wouldn't have happened.
It's the punishment you all deserved for not listening to me. So,
Aside from our sulking friend, I don't think you have much to worry about. You're still the one in charge here, and I don't think that's ever going to change. Second he tries something, I'll put a stop to it.
They'll kick his ass. Alright. Back to you, narrator. You said yourself that you know more than you're letting on. If you want me to go to the cabin, then you'd better tell us everything.
I can't. Anything I say at this point is far more likely to accelerate the unraveling of this place than it is to actually help you do your job. In fact, I probably shouldn't have even said that. I trust that if you've been here before, it means you know how dangerous she is, and that you know I'm not lying to you about her. Really? That's it? That's all we're getting out of you?
he just wants to keep things going the way they are. But we've been given a second chance to do right by her. She can build something better than this. She can build something better than us. We just have to let her do it.
I get it. You're conflicted. You've been through a lot, but I really have to be firm here. I will tell you one thing, which is that even now you are capable of stopping her and saving the world from ruin. You always have been, and you always will be. Do with that what you will.
I feel like we're kind of just being, being difficult if we choose this. Alright, no matter what happens next, it seems like our answers are at the cabin. We might as well see this through.
Good, we're all on the same page. It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up at the cabin on the hill. You'll find the princess within, as I'm sure you already know. End her. That's it? No final words of advice?
Don't die.
I'd rather not waste any more time. I'm sure that any advice I'd give at this point is something you've already heard.
Fair point.
That's fine by me. Let's get moving. I'm itching for a rematch. interior of the cabin is a place that feels long forgotten. There was once an elegance to its construction, carved marble columns holding a high arched roof, vaulted windows letting in the weak starlight. But that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it. A viscous fluid seeps from cracks in the stone walls, and it congeals into chaotic streaks of writhing nerves and wet clumps of living meat. That's horrible.
Thank you, Voice of the Hero. See, at least somebody's here for me. I'm glad Default Voice is on the same page.
The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I am curious as to what happens if you don't take the blade this time. Alright, I hope this one's still around after this first option.
A mirror? There is no mirror. We've done this already. Try to keep up. The repetition is maddening.
You can't use the skip button yet!
I don't know what to tell you. There isn't a mirror because I would know if there was a mirror. You're either seeing things or you're confused on the definitions of door and mirror. Or you're seeing things. That seems far more likely. What are you trying to say exactly?
He thinks we've lost it, that we're succumbing to madness, that something in us has broken.
You're literally called Voice of the Broken, my man.
It's an unnecessarily melodramatic way to describe a hallucination, but sure. I'm not going to waste time arguing with any of you. It went away after we touched it last time. Let's just do it again.
That's weird. Alright, well, let's take the blade.
Take the blade from the pedestal. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Yeah, I think your fisticuffs game is better than mine.
Good. Nothing feels better than gripping cold steel. You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. As if you don't see it. You really don't, do you? How strange. It really is just like last time. Are we really hallucinating? Why here? Why now?
Smash it. Smash it to pieces. It's the only thing keeping us from her.
Well, now I don't want to break the mirror.
Don't you want to know what we'll see? We won't be able to see anything if we smash it.
Smash it. Let's get violent already.
Do whatever you want with it. The mirror isn't real, so how you handle it doesn't matter, aside from wasting dangerous amounts of time.
I mean, wiping it clean removed it last time. Let's do that
Reach
again.
forward and drag your hand across the door leading to the basement. As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the stone floor, its ancient hinges moaning as it reveals the dim path ahead. Why am I not surprised? You step forward into the darkness. The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. A high vaulted ceiling stretches up into a gloom beyond your sight, while walls wet with tumorous growths press in uncomfortably at your sides. You feel both unprotected and trapped, at once exposed and claustrophobic. The air is thick, its odour an oppressive violence, the metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour.
I'm glad you still tacked that in at the end.
Her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
Was severing the tendons of my ascension not enough for you? Was it not enough to rend my divine heart?
Apparently not.
Come, see the horrors you've wrought upon my flesh, and feel my hands set upon your throat.
She's so angry with us. Why? Why did you desecrate her? Why couldn't I stop you?
You've got to stop thinking about her like that. It isn't doing anyone any good. She's not some untouchable god. She's an abomination. And we're going to put an end to her once and for all.
Whatever she is, it's our fault. If she's an abomination, then what does that make us?
She was going to end the world last time. If I might interject, you didn't make her into an abomination. She's always been what she is. It's why you're here, and it's why your task is so important.
Alright, let's keep on going.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. The chamber's walls are painted in blood, a deep, sickening red that drips down in clotted streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone.
On one hand, gross. On the other hand, damn, rad as hell. Extremely metal.
The princess stands in its center, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in the tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
I wouldn't have even noticed the dress skin if it hadn't pointed that out, but ugh. This is extremely grotesque.
Do you
but
know
gross
what
hell.
I'm going to do to you?
Extremely good grotesque.
There's not so much a moment of hesitation before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin.
She's
Blood
only
drips from
skin.
the place where metal meets flesh. And then, with a nauseating sound,
Oh
the
no.
skin
Oh, okay, there's the gloving.
plops to the ground.
Okay,
She
sure.
pulls her red, glistening arm free from her bindings.
Alright, she's taking her limiter off, that's bad.
She is loose, and she is coming for you.
Alright, can we agree on a parry counter?
End it. It's the punishment you all deserve for what you did to her. It's the punishment I deserve for letting it happen.
It's 4 against 1, you're outvoted.
We can win. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. This time, we'll make it out the other side. Hell, she's practically done most of the work for us.
She's made of weak points. Alright, I feel like I should just admit that... We should slay the princess. I guess this is just how it goes, huh? This is just the first storyline we do. Just have to learn that, you know, sometimes negotiations don't go anywhere. None of these are explore options, so if I had to take a guess, any of these are probably you die. And look, I'm gonna be honest, we could have better one-liners before slaying her, so let's just wordlessly slay her. Let's just acknowledge that none of us are particularly good at one-liners. Just approaches us. Alright, time to slay this princess. That's just the name of the game. Whatever, kill her.
Your heart full of fear, you charge towards the princess, your eyes locked on each other, both of you prepared to lay down your very essence in one blow. It's now or never. Let's make the beautiful blaze of glory.
Okay, but Voice of the Stubborn's hyped for this, and you know what? I appreciate that.
Horrifying squelch. You are unwound.
Alright. That seems bad. Is that a lot of organs coming out of me, or you inserting organs into me? I'm probably going to die either way, but like, you know. I feel like I kind of want to know the difference.
I hope you weren't planning on dying. We're going to make this last forever. Huh. I feel cold. I've never felt cold before.
A lot of your outside, or a lot of your insides are on the outside. That doesn't help. Oh no. We did it! Okay, now voice acting cool. True to her word, you do not die by her hand. Something has taken her away, and it's left something else in her place.
She's gone.
Where does she go? Should we try and find her?
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be a princess-shattering kaboom.
And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
That mirror again, of all places! Alright, let's start with this one, because the narrator could pitch in at some point. We don't know.
All right. She's gone. It's just us and that awful thing.
It's just me and Voice of Hero, my favorite one. And the horrible roaring I'm hearing.
It's like it's mocking us.
Oh, you're still here.
Feel anxious. Does anyone else feel anxious?
The narrator's gone.
It is. Does that mean the world ended?
The narrator ended.
The world didn't. We're still here. Come on. We just need to keep going.
Figures the world would end and leave us with all this nothing.
I think I'm supposed to look at the mirror.
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess. I don't want to look at us.
Alright, well, no matter what anyone says, all we can do is approach the mirror.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
The mirror never scared you before.
It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
Ah, we're fighting the final boss, gotcha. You approach the mirror. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. Oh, I got an achievement. The body. It's you. You are alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. Proceed to the cabin. What cabin? You're at the cabin.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Do you know the narrator? Okay, so I can attack the entity and destroy my body. Alright. The gift of a fragile vessel?
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is desecration. She placed the weight of her agony on you, yet it is she who unwound herself. But there is passion and empathy in her misery. She will make for a burning heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally found peace.
What are you?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
Some kind of birdman, I guess. I don't really know either. I mean, what do you think I am?
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
Do we know each other?
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
Are you the princess?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
But were you always the princess, or are you just making her a part of yourself?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
what sent me to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me here?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Do you know the narrator?
You are the only thing I have ever known.
Yeah, they've kinda made that clear.
The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Do you know about the worlds beyond this place?
I know only that they are.
Well, I mean, this is, an explore option, so let her out of there.
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt.
Alright, well, that's not explore, so that ends it. Without much of a decision on our part. Well, we could attack the entity, but... Attacking other people is what got us here. You know, I feel like in all of these negotiations, I don't know if I've ever compromised, so give me a sec to just destroy this. You raise your will to end your life, but as it buries into the space you body should be, you feel nothing at all. One of the many hands in front of you reaches forward and gently touches the side of your face.
There's nowhere for you to be but here.
Alright, well. I feel like it was a good gesture. Your will cuts across the entity in front of you, but nothing happens.
My roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight. We cannot harm each other as we are now.
Alright, well, I'm out of options. What do we do?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Oh, dang, you're the golden ending, I guess? Cool, alright. We'll just feed her all the rats then. Alright, make me forget. I mean, I feel like, so far, I've been pretty against this entity, so what if I don't let you do this to me?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
I'm not going back. Wait. Alright. I was sent to slay the princess to stop her from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
You're being semantic. What are you going to do if I help you?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
Aren't you scared that I'll find a way to kill you?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
Damn, mood. Alright, how many more pieces of you do I have to find?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find.
You
I
have
am
one
infinite.
ending, dingus.
The rest will find their own way home.
How much will I forget?
Everything. Until we meet again.
Okay, I'm gonna real quick save right here. I'm not going back.
If you need time, then I'll wait with you.
Wait forever.
You are as I am now, and forever is a long time to remain undone. I am not you, but I know that I would return before forever was finished. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping? If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage. You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return to mine.
Alright, the game closed. Alright, well then, I guess we really don't have any other option. Alright, that's pretty good.
You have returned to me. Though you were gone mere moments, I never left your side.
Come on, bring the image back up, please. Also, I got an achievement for that. That's fantastic. Look, it's only been a couple of seconds. Also, wait, hold on a sec. Is that always what they say? Though you were gone mere moments? Or like, if I waited a full-on day to come back, would have been like, oh damn, you were gone a while. Okay, make me forget.
She asks that I tell you to remember her.
Also, real quick. I'll just return here in case, I'd prefer to start from somewhere earlier.
You won't.
Everything goes dark, and you die. Well, it's 8:54, so I think this is actually going to be where we save for the day, so... Alright, well, that's probably, if I'm picking up on the lines correctly, the first route done. And now we have a better idea of what's going on. I think that entity was pretty clear. They need more perspectives, which sounds like we're just going to be getting different routes until they all return to her. And what that means, who knows? We'll figure that out down the line. For now, everything has gone dark, and we have died. Alright, so, single run definitely went faster than I thought it would. Though, to be fair, considering how aggro I was down the line, I feel like that makes sense. But now we kind of know what the connective tissue for the rest of the game is, and how, I guess, for lack of a better word, New Game Plus works. We've got a lot of different aspects to find, so I guess for lack of anything better, we'll just remain in this cycle until we awaken something. Is it good? Is it bad? Probably none of the above. But we shall remain here until we figure out something better, or we just play into those hands. Those many, many hands. Oh, that being said, though, pretty good first route. Not quite the princess I was aiming for. Similar idea. I was beaten to death, so thumbs up there. You know, I just thought I was gonna get tall princess. But regardless, well, I mean, I guess she was also still pretty tall. She was very gigantic, but I was hoping for Tiefling Princess, but whatever, it's fine. But I guess we're gonna see a lot of them as time goes on. So, alright. Going into the next run, we won't have memory of anything, so it will be as if we have never played before. So, I guess for the time being, then, yeah, we'll figure out what we're going to do next week. Because, yeah. I got a lot of options, and trying to go in, trying to go in negotiating, but then kind of breaking down at last second, didn't really get us anywhere good. So, I'm thinking, I want to say next run I'm gonna do everything except slaying the princess, for the last part of that, have negotiations go the way they did before, but, try to be more empathetic, try to, be a little more helpful, not just lean into slaying immediately. And we'll see how that goes for us later. There's definitely a few endings I'm interested in seeing, especially now that, the full game is out. I'm definitely curious about how being obdurate goes, just leaving immediately, charging in and slaying the princess immediately. There's also the one where you actually do help her, and then the narrator seems to become the villain. I definitely want to see where that one goes. That's one of the ones I was interested in the demo. So, I'll have to see how that goes. If I remember correctly, the one where you aggro her immediately was also pretty interesting. But, yeah. Also, apologies if you didn't see the demo when I did that one, or when anybody else did that one. If I gave a few things away. Whoops, but... And you could just play the game yourself, or you could wait for it to happen, or you could watch the old demo stream I did. That's also an option. You could do a lot of things. It's just like in Slay the Princess. Man, real life, it's almost exactly like Slay the Princess. Who would have guessed? I don't know what the fuck I'm on about anymore, so I feel like I should just move on. So, Slay the Princess. Gonna be back next Tuesday at 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And it will continue to be Tuesday until the Saturday stream frees up again. At which case it'll be Saturday instead. Until then, though, it'll be Tuesday. Paper Mario is going to be Thursday for a little while longer. Though I'm almost at the end of Paper Mario, so probably not going to be on that one for too much longer. Probably 2 or 3 more streams. That one's Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then, of course, lastly, River City Girls is Saturday at 9 to 11. I would have done it this last week, and hopefully I would have gotten past the boss, but I didn't, because again, Daylight Savings Time happened, and I decided, I don't feel like fucking with that, so I didn't. I just read Mage and Demon Queen for a bit, and then went to bed. I feel like I made the right choice. But yeah, that'll be on Saturday for a little while longer, though I'm also towards the end of that one. Gonna have a few new things to do before the year ends. That's good to know. As for other things, you can find the VODs on YouTube. I'm Thefter Masamune on there. But also, I have LPs there as well. Mega Man X4 is on Monday, Wario Land 2 is on Wednesday, and Metroid Zero Mission is on Friday. Also, as a side note, I'm really glad YouTube un-ate my views for episode 0 of that, because is it 8 when it first went up, and then it went down to 2, and then it went down to 0 for a bit? And, I clearly don't care about, total view count that much, or I would have eaten my own hat. I enjoy doing these things, but, still pretty disheartening when it's just completely 0, so I'm glad YouTube barfed the views back out. That's good. Anyway, though, that's YouTube, and also you can support me. I'm Pepner on Patreon and Ko-fi if you want to do that, and you can find links easily enough in the Twitch bio, or the YouTube banner, or underneath the YouTube videos. Alright, so, we're gonna be dead for a week, but, tune in next time for when we do another route. Will I figure out which one I want to go to next, by next week? Probably. And if not, we'll just play it by ear. Either way, I'll see you next time. Have a good night.